talk about Quixx the not Duel, Duel. It's a German game, and it's by a guy called Steffen Benndorf, and it lasts about 15 minutes, and it's from NSV Games, and that means Nürnberger Spielkartenverlag, and that just means Nürnberger's playing card publisher. And the games are made by Nürnberger. There are a set of rules out for it in English. There's a one half page. I've got a half page here, half a foolscap page. There's 2 pages on an A5 sheet of paper, and you've got to know the rules of Quixx before you can actually play this. So I've written out a further set of 16 pages where it continues. Anyway, I digress. As you can see, this is not a board game. I haven't been able to buy it, so I've manufactured it myself. And if you want to manufacture it, you can, but it takes you as much to manufacture as it does to with all the hours you put in and everything else, and you've got to buy the pieces and the board and everything else. Any old board won't do. You need 2mm proper bookbinding board and stuff like this, and then you've got to buy the cover for the back and all this jazz. So by the time you finish, you've got to buy the dice, of course, and then you've got to write the rules out, and you need the ink and all that. Oh, so by the time you finish, it's just as well to buy the blinking thing if you can get it. I haven't been able to get it, but what I'm going to do, I've looked into it and I found that I understand the rules, hopefully, and I'm going to try and explain them to you. And what it is, it's a game for 2 players, and it's played on the ordinary Quixx board. But I don't want to go backwards into Quixx. I'm going to stay on this game because it's a different game altogether than Quixx, the normal game, and it's played on 4 rows of 4 different colours, and you get 4 dice. You get 6 dice. 2 of them are white and 4 of them are different colours, and the red one is for the top row, the yellow one is for the second row, the green one is for the third row, and the blue dice is for the 4th row. And the rows go from 2 to 12 with a symbol at the end, which is a lock-in symbol, which I'll explain in a minute. And the yellow goes from 2 to 12 with a lock-in symbol at the end, which I'll explain. And then the changeover is from green, where it goes from 12 to 2. So instead of 2 to 12, it goes 12 to 2, the opposite. And blue goes from 12 to 2 with a lock-in device at the end of each one. So there are four rows of different colours. And how they work, interact with the dice, I'll show you in a moment. But the main idea of the game is to get as many of these tokens, because there are 2 players, there's 2 sets of tokens, 1 grey and 1 black. That's so they don't clash with the board. So when you put them on, there can be no the words just escape me. You can't get them mixed up with anything else. Grey's grey and black's black, and there's no other colour on there that conflicts with it. So you can see them quite easily, which is not a bad thing. The only thing that I have changed is that these pieces it's a stacking game as well, which I'll go into in a minute. And you can stack up to 12 pieces on any one board. It's unlikely that you'll stack more than 12. But it only goes down to 12 in any case, and at the side here is the scoring. So if you've placed them on by throwing the dice. If you scored like this one, the 2 white ones the combined total of the 2 dice on the white would come to 8. So you place it on either 8 yellow or 8 red. You could place it on 8 green or 8 blue. I I don't want to go into strategies of the game or anything like that, but in any case, once he's played that, he can play that if he wants to. So he can play, oh, I think I'll go on 8 yellow. So he puts a piece on 8 yellow. Grey puts a piece on 8 yellow because it's Grey's go. And he's also got the opportunity to use one or the other of these dice and put them, I'll put them in order, red, yellow, green, blue, same as down there. And he's got the opportunity to say, oh, I'll have either a 4 on red or an 8 on red. Or he can say, I'll have an 8 on yellow, a 9 on green, or a 10 on blue, which wouldn't be bad. So he's got a choice of making another selection for the dice. So he's got one selection where he uses white, the combined total of the 2 dice, or a singleton of either one of the white dice combined with any singleton of the coloured dice. So on that one he would score 4, on that one he would score 8, on that one he would score 5, on that one he would score 6, and with this one he would score 8, that one he would score 12, that one he would score 9, and that one he would score 10. So he's got 2 choices. He can use all of the choices if he wants. He can use that one and that one to score. However, he may not ever choose to score on 8 again. If he could make 8 on the yellow, say for instance yellow was that, and he put that, he made 8 to score on yellow 8, and then he said, oh, I'll go on this one to score another one for 8. He wouldn't be allowed, because he would then get to be able to stack, and you can't do that in your initial go. You can only do one or the other. You can stack, but you can't stack immediately. And there is a rule to stacking. You've got to be the lead element on the board. There can be nothing in front of you. So if you want to stack, you can stack on the most advanced piece on the board. And by advanced piece, I mean that once you've laid a piece on 8, all the pieces to the right, to the left of these would be null and void. You can't use them anymore. Black could use them because he hasn't played yet, but Grey is not allowed to use any more behind that, so he's got to advance. So if he throw a 7, he wouldn't have been able to throw anything, but the higher up you go, the better, obviously. That's why the scoring is so important. If he'd have thrown a 5 and landed on 5, he would have only lost 3 spaces. So it gives you more chances at this side to score. And the idea is that when you put the pieces on, you can put the pieces anywhere that you so desire, but you will only place one on one square at any one space at one time by the action of the throw of the dice. So when you're laying them down, you can only lay one at a time. He couldn't lay one there because he's closed that one off. They're closed off, they're finished. So he can't lay behind, he's got to lay sort of in front. So now if he wants to lay, he must lay this side of these now. Except for blue, where he can, if he scored 10, he could have put one down there. And black would have his pieces on the board at the same time. Black's could be anywhere as well. He couldn't have one behind there. He could have one on there and then place one in front. 1 or 2 there. I'm just placing them on at the moment. Let's do that anyway. So what I want to talk about now is the lead element, and this is a little rule of the game. You can only stack, and stacking is quite important because you get more points for stacking. So in this case, what would happen is each one of these would be a point scored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he would score times 1 would be 1 point for each score. So he would score 5. Black would score 5 if they were counting up at the end, and Grey would 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grey would score 7 points. So Grey would win in that instance. However, there is another little rule whereby that if you're the lead element and black is to throw, and black can throw a 9 or a 5 on green or red, 9 on red or 5 on green, like so. I'll just put the dice, set the dice up for you. So he could either, black could either score on 8, which he couldn't score on the red because he's not allowed to go behind his number. He couldn't score on these because he couldn't go behind the numbers either. He couldn't score on this one because he can't go behind the numbers. He's already scored on 9, so he can't score behind. So what he can do, he can't use that figure, but what he can do is say, I'll score on 9 on red. And what he does is, he puts one piece on top like that, and that's called stacking. You're allowed to do that. If he'd have had, he's also got a 5 blue, he could have laid it on 5 blue, but he can't do both at the same time. He can only do the whites first, and then either he's laid 1 on 9 on there, that's his go over, or he could have laid on the green if he wanted to, 5 on the green. He could have doubled up on the green. So what happens now is that that's black's go's gone, and what's happened is that he's scored on 9, but it's 2 times. So he's got, instead of 2 points for 2 pieces, he's now scored an extra point for having 2 in a stack, so he scored 3 points, which is very good. And he can stack on there as many times as he's lucky enough to throw the dice to get that same colour, but only once in the one throw. He can't do it twice. He can't put 2 on in one go. So if he'd thrown again, he could have stacked up on there, but he could have stacked up on the green one if he'd wanted, like so. So now he's got 3 on the red, for which he'll score 6 points, whereas he would have only scored 3 if he'd have laid them out individually. He would have scored 1 point for each, which was 3. But because he's got them stacked, he's now scoring 6. On the green, he scored 2, so he will score 6 points for that. Now you can see the points are different. So he's got 6 points here, 3 points here, that's 9, 10, 11, he's got 12 points now. Whereas grey has only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's how the game goes. And you will continue playing until you reach the end. However, if grey can stop the black stacking, if he can throw, if he's fortunate enough to throw a 4 or a 10, it must be the one directly in front. Any other one will stop him stacking as well. So if grey throws a 4 there, that stops him stacking. However, if black on his next go is able to throw a 4, on green like that, or a 4 on whites, whichever, that way or that way, he can take the grey one off and place his black one on. However, he's not allowed to stack on these anymore. On this one, he's not allowed to stack on 5 anymore, but he can stack on 4 because it's the lead element. This one's still stackable. He can still stack on that one. Black cannot stack on that one because grey's got one in front, but grey can stack on that one. Okay, and it will go on and go on and go on until the board is actually filled. And when a player gets 5 points, say for instance, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there, and black throws a red 12. He manages to throw a red 12. Either in whites or by using the one white with the A colour. He will close off this one here, and that will lock the row because there's nothing else on the right of the row. There's nothing else there, so he will score a point by putting a counter on like that, and that will say that that row is finished. That row is now locked, and with it being locked, the red dice will be taken out of play and nobody else will play on there. Do not remove these pieces because you haven't counted up yet. So grey has scored 1 on that, and red and black has scored 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's got 4 points there, and he's got a 3 there, which gets him 6, so he'll get 10 points for that row in the final count up, along with the rest of them, of course, but on that row that's what he'll score. And play will continue in this manner until 2 of these rows are filled up. So if grey manages to get 5 on this row, he's got 5, he's got 6 on there, and he manages to throw a 12, he will lock up this row, and then the game will finish. The game will stop. All these other numbers here cannot be hit. It's only these 2 lead elements at the front here that can be hit. These are the only ones that can be hit. This one, not this one, because they're safe. Once they're doubles, they're safe. But singletons can be knocked off and given back to the player. If you find out for any reason that you cannot use your throws, either the whites or the colours, for any reason, or you don't want to use them, because you don't have to if you don't want to, you get a penalty. And that penalty is, if it was black, he'd have to lay on the missed throw one of these white circles. He'd have to cover one of the white circles up, and play would continue. If this was actually filled up by any other player, so black had 2 missed throws and grey had 2 missed throws, the game would immediately stop on that, and count up would begin on that. The other one is that if all the things had been used, and they'd all been placed on the board like so, the game would end in any case. So the first player to use all his tokens and place them on the board, the game would be over. So that's basically all there is to the game. It's not too complicated. It's only that the last little bit that's a little bit odd, where as long as it's clear in front for this one, he can keep putting pieces on there as long as he gets the number 10 yellow. It can keep counting up on that and counting up on that. And you can't come out on a row until unless you've got 5 tokens on that row of that one colour, and then you've got to get a 12, and then you get an extra point for locking it up, and then that row is finished. So 2 rows together locked up will stop the game. Your pointer's being actually on the board, and you've got no more tokens left. And also, if this is being filled up, the game will stop immediately. So there's 3 ways of stopping the game. So that's how you play it. I've made a little board myself whereby I actually do the score up. You can see how complex the scoring is going to be here. So all you've got to do is count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11 singles for black. 11 singles for black on the 11 one. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 on the for grey. And then in this manner you've got 2 stacks, and he's got 1 3 stack. So I'm putting them on the stacks there. So that's all of black, except that he's got 10 points for missed throws. So that's minus. And grey has got 2 2s, 1 3, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Six stack. And he's got minus 10 as well. So what happens, he says, he's got 2 there, so that 2 is 6, becomes now 6. Same with that one, that 2 is now 6, because 2 3s are 6. He's got 3, a 3 stack, which gets him 6. One, 2, 3. That gets him 9, doesn't it? Gets him 18, sorry. 18. Yeah. And 1 stack for grey on 3, which gets him 6. And he's got a 1 6, so he gets 21 for that. So you just add them up then, and you've got what have we got? 29, 35 here. Less 10 is 25. And here you've got what? 20, 36, 40. Minus 10, which is 30. So that's the final score, 25 and 30. And that's all there is to the game. It's just easy as that. Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll see what we've got and see if it's made any sense.